11. And I've got a motion moved by Councillor Hassan, seconded by Councillor Belfontaine, that council adopt meeting RM03-2021 as presented, unless anybody has any additions or changes. Yes, Councillor Hassan?
I want us to talk or I want to have a little statement about the liquor ration.
Okay, a statement about the liquor ration. Do you want to put that under 11C?
Okay.
Liquor regulation change? Okay. Any other changes? All right then, so if I could reread the motion now, that council adopts the agenda of regular meeting RM03-2021 as amended. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Deputy Mayor? That's 6 votes in favor. Carried, none against. Are there any declarations of interest in any of the items this evening? Okay. Should something come up, just let us know and we'll give you a chance to excuse yourself. Councillor absences. We've got a motion moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor Lafferty, that council excuse councillors, and I think there's only one that would need to be excused tonight. That's Councillor Sibston. Has anyone heard anything from Councillor Sibston? Okay, well, as is our practice, normally we do not excuse, but that's up to councillors. Did the mover and seconder want to put Councillor Sibston's name on the motion? Yes? That's the mover. Seconder? Councillor Lafferty, did you want to put Councillor Sibston on this list?
Yeah.
Okay. He may not be aware. She's down there. Okay, well, the motion reads, excuse Councillor Sibston from regular meeting RM03-2021. Any discussion? All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are no delegations this evening. We do have a couple sets of minutes to adopt here, and I've got a motion moved by Councillor Hassan, seconded by Councillor Belfontaine, that council approve the minutes of regular meeting 23-2020 of December 7th, 2020, as presented, unless there are that anyone wants to bring forward. I do not see any. Councillor Hassan is just in terms of the room. He stepped out for a second, so I'll take a show of hands. All those in favor of approving the minutes of RM 23-2020? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm sorry, excuse me, is that the one,
December 7th, regular meeting 23-2020. Give you a second to take a look.
listen, oh, I'm okay.
Okay, so you're in favor then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Deputy Mayor, are you in favor as well?
Yes.
Okay, that's 6 votes for. Those minutes are adopted. And on the second set of minutes, I've got a motion moved by Councillor Belfontaine, seconded by Councillor Hassan, that council approve the minutes of regular meeting 24-2020 of December 21st, 2020. As presented, Councillor Hassan, did you have something to say about those ones?
Yeah, it's only just one on the Resolution 2020-223, that the council direct administration to pay outstanding invoice to Angela Fontaine in full. That one, I was chairing the meeting, so I didn't vote for or against.
That came, oh, you were still chairing it when it came out as independent?
Yep.
Okay, so you shouldn't have a vote.
No?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Okay.
Something else.
That should somehow be noted that when you came out,
Because until we came out, the mayor and council de la Fontaine, still they were in conflict and they did not come back to the room. So we came out in camera and we were all voting for the motion, then after that they came in.
and you were chairing
Yes,
the discussion,
yes.
you were acting as a chair. Maybe that should be noted somewhere in this.
Well, before going in camera, when it says Mayor Welly left
Oh.
council chambers,
Oh, and it does say,
it doesn't say it there, but we'll add it in there.
yeah, because that's really when it happened.
Councillor Hassan takes over as chair.
And then,
We were in camera, we discussed, we came out of camera, we voted on it, then after that they came in.
Yeah.
and then I guess you could say, Mayor Welly resumed the chair
And then,
before we adjourned,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
Take,
All right. So,
Yeah,
like,
Councilman Person?
yeah, you guys have me listed as in attendance, and then I'm excused.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, you weren't there, right?
no, she wasn't there.
Okay. So we have you in attendance at the beginning.
Yeah, and then at the council absence, you
Okay.
guys.
So for present, we have to eliminate your name there. Okay, yeah. All right, so those two changes, really, 2 or 3 changes.
Yeah.
Um,
So just to make sure, I'll remove Councillor McPherson's name from the attendance list.
yeah,
At 8:59, Councillor Belfontaine clear interest. Councillor Hassan takes the chair.
yeah.
After, during the vote,
Or right after the vote.
for the vote, we'll remove Councillor Hassan's vote.
Yeah.
As he was the chair. And once the mayor and Councillor Belfontaine enter the room again,
Dash 2020 of December 21st, 2020. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Deputy Mayor, are you in favor as well?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 6, 4, none against. Minutes are adopted as amended. Okay, Mayor, I guess I can report on a couple of meetings. One would have been the meeting about COVID 19, which we seem to be having every 2 weeks. One here on Friday again. So that's where we get updates and any issues or concerns that time. Nothing really unusual came out of the last meeting. It was just more or less laying out the timetables, delivery of the vaccine. And then we did have, I attended with the SAO a meeting with Arctic Energy Alliance, the director, I suppose, Mark Hike, and also the local Arctic Energy representative. And we went over some potential opportunities that the village could take in the area of addressing greenhouse reduction projects. certainly some interesting ones. I think the SAO may outline a couple ideas that came out of that meeting. I'll leave that to him. Other than that, that would be my mayor's report. Any questions? Anything you want to bring up at the bi-weekly meetings with Tammy Condola? Okay. I'll turn it over to then Deputy Mayor, did you have any questions?
No.
Okay, okay, then I'll turn it over to our SAO for his report.
Not too much, I'll just make a point on the meeting myself and the mayor had with our Arctic Energy Alliance. One of the programs they're offering is a funding for a community energy champion. So that'll be a position 100% funded by Arctic Energy Alliance for 1 year. And that person would develop a community energy plan. And part of the role, we could look at energy efficiencies, within the community, but also within the village and village buildings. Look at different options, come up with plans. I think that's something I'm going to look into and get some more information and bring that back to council. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, it certainly sounded like the community energy champion. A multi-year to be attached to that. 100% in the first year, 50% in the second year.
Something like that.
Yeah. And these type of projects, because it takes a lot of time and energy to the right projects and the right funding. It would be a great way to bring some of these carbon reducing technologies to Fort Simpson and save us money too in the future.
I think even if we had to pay part of this out of all, so there's a good chance that it will save us money in the long run. Because I'm sure there's efficiencies there's things we can do to save us money in our buildings.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, just finding the time and putting a plan in place.
And there's quite a lot of programming of the cost of whatever project for the community. So when you look at the savings you're already going to get from changing to the new greener technology, it's already getting 3/4. So it certainly is an incentive. All right, well, moving along there. Is that all you've got?
That's all I'm going to.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for the SAO? All right, thank you. Tabled items and old business, we don't have any. Committee minutes and recommendations, there are none this evening. Under new business, we do have a letter. A support in kind donation is being requested by the Lidway Film Festival. So I do have a motion moved by Councillor Hassan, seconded by Councillor Bellefontaine, that council approves the in-kind donation request from Lidway First Nation to waive the community hall rental fee for the second annual Lidway Film Festival. Any discussion on that item? As is typical, I think, with events when they're meant to be open events to the whole community, and it's basically a not-for-profit type of thing that's going on. We do typically donate the use of the hall if it isn't already booked for some other purpose. Just to take note of that, I think it is in our policies. So I'll ask for a show of hands then. All those in favor? 3, 4, 5, and Deputy Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, that's 6 votes for, none against. Motion's carried. The next item on the agenda is councillor resignation. And we do have a letter from, let me just read it. Councillor O'Shea, and it's addressed to and council dated January 26, 2021, saying, Mayor and Council, I would like to advise Mayor and Council that I am resigning my position as village councillor effective immediately. And we could have a motion accepting, that would be a bit of a technicality though, because I think, it's, the resignation stands without. I believe the councillor had, did not have any issues with the council itself. It's just that he, in order to take advantage of another opportunity, he had to basically resign his position at council. So I think that coming out of that, though, there's a decision to be made by the council as to whether they want to go down the list, have a by-election, or simply just leave the seat vacant with approximately 6 months to go. And, it's up to the council. I would like to thank Councillor Ogier for the time and commitment that he did make and the contributions he made during the time he was a councillor. We wish him well and all the best to him. Is there any, we don't have to decide anything tonight, but if anyone had any thoughts on what the best course of action would be as far as what do we do with the empty seat? Does anyone have any thoughts on that at this time? It is an option, I guess, under the Cities, Towns, and Villages Act to just leave the seat vacant. Normally, if there's less than, more than a year, that choice isn't there. Although maybe that was the change. I always forget, but maybe that's the change, that it's always there now, all three options. It's just, the option of going down the list becomes less and less viable as you get further and further down, I suppose. And there's also the question of whether it's worth somebody's time to come on so late in the game to a council to have to learn everything that's going on with the budget and these kinds of things, and whether a person can make that effective contribution rather than just leave it empty. And certainly anybody that wants to run in 6 months is more than welcome. My suggestion would be to just leave the seat empty.
Yeah, I would.
There's anyone else on this thing?
There you go. Yeah.
Put it out. How long do we advertise for a certain amount of time, or yes?
Yeah. Process takes at least another month. And then, a person gets sworn in at the first meeting. So it could for that person really takes their spot. Yeah.
Would you like a motion?
We could, yeah. Have we got any blank ones? That's a great one back one. Okay. So what would the motion be?
So, council would recommend that we vacancy vacant.
Okay. We're going to say that council
Support.
supports leaving the vacated position of councillor vacant. It's using the word vacant twice. Okay, well, I'll put the mover.
Oh, depending on what, depending on CEDR or what do we get? According to
As per the Cities, Towns, and Villages Act. Yeah, it could be actually in the election code too, right?
that is less than 6 months of the remaining.
That's right.
It's pretty standard for every council, if they have a vacancy under a year from the option of filling.
Um, And is that called the, what's,
It's in the Elections and Premises Act.
right? Is there anything in there you see? Could just say as per the appropriate legislation.
The act itself is called the
And
Elections and Plebiscites Act. SNWT 2006.
Okay, I'm just gonna rewrite this a little bit.
So local authorities elections act.
Well, how about this, if I took your, Councilor McPherson and just changed it to, having received a resignation from Councilor Adolphus Ogier on January 26, 2021, the seat will remain vacant in consideration of time left for the term of the existing council. How's that? And we know we're covered because that legislation does have that as one of the options. And I would need a second.
Oh.
Okay. Seconder, Councilor Hassan. Okay, any discussion on that motion then? Okay. Deputy Mayor, do you have any thoughts on that?
No.
Okay. All right, so everyone's had a chance to say something about that. All right, then I'll ask for a show of hands. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deputy Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 6 in favor, none against. Motion is carried. Thank you. And now, the item that Councilor Hassan brought up, which was 11C, a liquor regulation change. He wanted to bring up a topic around that. And Councilor Hassan, you can go ahead.
Thank you. As a councillor, I want to have a statement. It's not ready yet, but I'm going to read what I wrote about the liquor ration. Thank you. Today is February 2nd, the date that the liquor ration is lifted, and this will be recorded in the history of this town. When the council requests the minister responsible for election and plebiscite to lift the liquor ration, I believe that the minister, without consulting the local government, and other communities, they did that. This plebiscite was held without the majority for lifting the restrictions. This plebiscite was held when the whole world was dealing with COVID situation. We have other priorities to deal with. This plebiscite was held when the whole world was dealing with COVID-19. I personally request the mayor to call for a tri-council meeting involving the Grand Chief to address this issue or to deal with it. We should respect, we live in a Dene place, Dene land, Dene people. We should respect them, respect their laws, respect what they want. This statement is mine, and I'm fully responsible for it. And we should know that the history will hold us accountable for any negative impact that happened according to what we did. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Hassan. Did anybody have any additional comments to make on that subject? Okay.
I'm going to write the statement and I'm going to submit it to Alberto.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, I agree with what Councillor Hassan had said. I think after what happened, I think a meeting with the Tri-Council would be in order, just to kind of address everything holistically. So I agree with Moss. The mayor should, as soon as they could.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Mayor, and certainly, I think it's an issue that is just starting. It's not over. And being aware of impact. We're all hopeful that things will not get out. People will drink responsibly, but certainly there's perhaps some ongoing communications that have to happen in order that, we're all for the betterment of the community and ensuring that things go smoothly. And if they don't, we make adjustments and we deal with those things together. So yes, I will do that as suggested, certainly.
I just want to add something last. It's lifted. I'm not with or because I don't deal with it. But I can tell you right now we are with this COVID-19 community that go and shop at BC. Right now they can't cross the border to BC. They're gonna come here, and we are dealing with COVID situation. Ready, Mehani Blue, Trout Lake, Samba Cave, and Jim River. Those people all they gonna come and shop here. We don't think that that's gonna help these communities. I have seen them live here enough to know how alcohol is destroying people's life, and with that we are just not helping. It's not my call. I know that democratically people voted for it. How many people went and did vote for opening the liquor ration? 170 something, 174. How many people voted against? The people who voted against, they don't deal with it. They might not be when they voted for it. They voted for the wellness of the community. But for me, anyone who voted for it voted for it for themselves. So the percentage, for me, it doesn't make sense. Honestly, did we consult, or did the minister consult with these communities, with the other communities that deal with us? No. Did the minister consult with the No. The minister made a mistake. They approve whatever the plebiscite. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. The minister of justice or whoever minister should be responsible for that. And honestly, that will be written a bad, like black dot on that minister's history, and it will be written on all of us history. It's really a bad decision. Thank you.
Okay.
And I
Yes, Councilor McPherson?
It's very interesting that, now that we're at the 11th hour, and all these comments, when did we start this whole process? Over a year ago. And then it seems like once the decision was made and the ration is lifted, everybody's got concerns. And it almost makes us look really bad in the communications, the openness of the community, between the organizations, between the type of groups. It's embarrassing that all these concerns are being brought up now. My take on the lifting of the ration, and in my opinion, if we work together as a community, started developing some good long-term goals for the problems that we have in this community, not just say, oh, the ration is not good. You're just slapping them down one more time, and that's my comment. I'd rather look long-term down the road and build some facilities, build some in-house counseling, because whether you have rationing or not, you're still going to have problems with drinking. Doesn't matter.
That's very true. We've had problems for 40 or 50 years while the ration was in effect. All I suppose we don't know is would it get worse or solutions that we could be working on. They've always been there.
Profit from the liquor store and say, okay, let's
Yeah.
developing our local program.
Yeah,
Because
So-
whether or not you have rationing or not, the problem is still going to be there.
yeah.
You're still going to have the drinkers. You're still going to have the non-drinkers.
And I think that's why, we can't blame anybody. This was a democratic type of thing. I think the village itself certainly worked fairly transparently with all the stakeholders as far as letting them know what was happening. All our meetings are public. We have public meetings, in addition to just broadcasting our other meetings. And there was lots of media surrounding this issue for, as you say, over a year, as it worked its way through to the final plebiscite question. At this point, it's a little bit like, what is done. Communities decided that this is the direction it wants to take, so we're gonna work with that, and we want to see the best, possible outcome, and hopefully, with, some cooperation and identifying possible solutions, we will see things get better, regardless.
Celine here.
Yep, go ahead.
May I ask you when you think you will have this tri-council meeting? And if you do, are we able to attend also?
Yeah, I guess I'll have to talk to the other two representatives here to sort of set it up, but I will, invite any members of the council that do want to attend, because it's kind of one of those issues that's got much broader scope to it and interest, so certainly, yes, we can. I think it's good, yeah, it'll be a good chance to go over, what is happening. Yes, Councillor Lafferty.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank
I
you.
was one of the people that sat at that table that day that we put the rationing in place. And I got a lot of flack for it at that meeting and for years after, because I was one of the people that voted against, to get the rationing. So this time around, I just didn't even bother. If they want it, go ahead.
Yeah.
I didn't bother commenting on anything.
Nothing's set in stone. I think people will certainly look at it. They will see if it's working, if it isn't. We don't know. We don't know. There are some concerns, but there's some reasons to think that there'll be some positive outcomes here. So I guess we'll give it a chance. We'll see what happens. We'll work closely with our partners. And, we have, through this process, I think, identified some shortcomings in the program deliveries that could be made available to help people with addictions and other issues. So as these things are all interconnected anyway, and while we're not the forefront agency to be doing all these things, I think it's been an education in itself for a lot of us. And, it doesn't hurt to be involved. We're all community members, and people do expect that we should try to find solutions, common solutions. But
Easy.
yeah, it's not easy. That's a good comment there, for sure. Okay, but I will get a hold of the chief and the president of the meeting and see when we can have a meeting.
The Grand Chief.
Yeah,
Grand Chief, please.
that's quad council, but yeah, we'll do that. I think these kind of interested parties, because it's sort of a regional issue as well. I think it's just good, the more people you have interested in this, so she'll be invited for sure.
Okay. And I remember that in the council, when the council or the mayor, when the letter is being sent to the minister, it was requested that, and it was on the record. I watched all the videos, everything has to do with this issue. And I noticed that even we mentioned from the meeting that the minister should be consulting with other agencies or the local organizations in that regard. Did the minister did that? No, they did not do it. People were pushing, and the minister, that's a mistake of the Minister of Justice or whoever minister is. That's a mistake. We have that on the record. I have the record of all the videos, and I'm going to post all these videos on Facebook. It's public record. There is nothing, we are not hiding anything. But someone has to be responsible. If anyone get affected, anyone by what we did or what this plebiscite or whatever, this liquor regulations, that's going to be on us. That's going to be on us. We will be held responsible in the history, and that minister will be held responsible in the history. We have to understand that, and we can't deny that at all. It's a big mistake. Thank you.
Okay, well, let's leave it at that, and we will give everybody an opportunity to come to delve further into the issue. All right, item number 12, bylaws, ATV bylaw. We put it in the package and put on the agenda because this is going back a ways to last summer, I believe, when we had complaints from residents about four-wheelers buzzing up and down Antoine Drive, the back road. Seemed to be a lot of younger people involved, maybe didn't have proper licenses or registrations and insurances and things like that. So we at the time talked about speed limits, different ways of resolving that. Recently, I was approached by another community member saying that snowmobiles were, high-powered snowmobiles were jumping over every bunch of snow piles in the community, beside people's yards and garbage cans and all this kind of stuff. And they just felt it was kind of dangerous. It's not just taking the snowmobile and going to the nearest trail. So we have a bylaw. The person that brought this to my attention said that they thought the reason that the RCMP weren't enforcing the NWT ATV Act, or All-Terrain Act, is that we had a bylaw concerning it, and so we sort of taken on that responsibility. But I know SAO Corrigan did talk to one of the RCMP about that, and turns out that no, that is not true, that they will enforce our bylaw. Act, which just states if you're on a highway or a road, you do have to be licensed and you have to have insurance, you have to be of age. So these are all things that I just bring to your attention. We know that we don't have a full-time bylaw. I don't know if there's other options for us to educate parents and younger people as to the safety issues. If we work with the RCMP, perhaps make presentations in the high school, just trying to encourage people to do the right thing, and because it is an accident waiting to happen. I think I witnessed myself after the new pavement came in. I saw kids playing hide and seek with four-wheelers up at Wild Rose, and there was 4 or 5 of the all-terrain vehicle, like four-wheelers, and they were sending one young person off, and the other 4 would give them about a minute head start, and they'd all go race around looking for them. And I mean, while they're doing that, they're not paying a whole lot of attention to the traffic on the roads. And none of them really should. We could make a harsher bylaw. I don't know what could happen. I think our options are we work more closely with the RCMP, bring to their attention the issues and concerns that we have from our residents. Try to do something through the school. I mean, I'd much prefer that young people get educated and the message gets out. I'm concerned about people's safety, both the riders and the other people that could be hurt as a result. So, and if we can do that, I mean, there's lots of opportunities for people to ride these four-wheelers and skidoos on the trail systems around Fort Simpson. I think even building this fire guard around Wild Rose could be a chance to look at more trail systems up in that area. So as we think about those things and present out those things to the young people and their parents, we say this is where we want to see the kids. We don't want to see them on the roads where they're a danger to themselves and the community. I'll leave it at that. If anybody has any comments to make, I think we can ask the RCMP to come and go over some of these things, exactly how they would enforce it, or what type of education program they could institute with us at the school. I think if they had some kind of audio-visual type presentation to make about the safety of all terrain, and it would be great. I mean, just talking isn't good enough. I think kids want to see presentation. And there should be lots out there, but they want to see too that local people are really concerned, and maybe things have gotten a little slack. Okay, any comments on that? Because there's no motion. It's just a subject of sort of an update, but a information thing too. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Number 13, correspondence and information, veterans news, a request to do some advertising in a magazine and website. Morgan, have we advertised with these people before?
Okay, I had a conversation with this gentleman, and asked me to pass this information on to council for consideration.
Do we advertise with anybody in
Um,
support of these type of things?
Up here north, but it's not a
Oh,
question.
I know it's nice to put an ad in a magazine or on a website, but unless that money somehow goes to the actual veterans, I'd almost rather donate it to one of the local legions in the north and see the money go directly to help northern vets, or even to assist with some upgrading of the gravestones of those that did serve here in Fort Simpson. Yes,
They are getting upgraded. An organization.
right?
Yes.
Well, it's up to council, I guess. I don't even know if that requires a resolution. It's a very small amount of money if you wanted to authorize the SAO to put a small ad in that magazine. I'm sure it's something.
Is the idea, I guess, tourism, that we would be advertising Fort Simpson to folks that they would come here? It's like when I worked, I used to get these bills that would show up from some magazine, and I called one day to find out what it was about. Well, it's for a magazine to advertise your Simpson. There would be no point advertising. Yeah, but it's for hockey news. It had nothing to do with it. So like you said, it would benefit to the community because we're spending tax. If it's going to advertise to a group of people that may come here, then, but like I said, if it's not, it would be much better to just donate it to one of the other good causes that we normally support. So it would be interesting to find out what, who is, the other communities advertising there, or are they just contacting any business type listings and a small amount?
Yeah, I remember there was a magazine, something like that, for lost children. And you know, they would really tug on your heartstrings to try to get you to put an ad in, but it was a very cheap little magazine that would go out, and it 90% ads, a little bit of information on, you know, looking for lost children, but you know, if all that was just trying to say, hey, we're supportive, I don't know if it did much good or not. Certainly wasn't something made in the north. So yeah, I agree. Why don't we just let the SAO do his own research and determine if there's any value to that to the people of Fort Simpson. If not, just, you know, we'll skip over it, use your discretion there. Okay, council matters and concerns. Maybe I'll start with Councillor Lafferty tonight.
Make the cold weather go away.
Really? Okay, and Councillor McPherson. Okay. Councillor Bellefontaine.
I can't think of anything right now.
Okay. Councillor Morrow, any council issues or concerns? Okay. Councillor Hassan.
Nothing, just very sad for the liquor restrictions, that's all, thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you for everybody. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
For the homeless, the shelter, how is it working? Is it still going?
Yes, it's been open every night since December 18th. It's almost working about 18 hours a day now, staff, and a combination of some volunteers that do still do a little bit of work there, but the majority of the hours now being done by village staff.
How quieter over at clusters last few weeks. People aren't pestering so much, no noise at night and stuff.
Right?
We used to wander around a lot there. Yeah, it's a lot better.
Yeah, so there are spin-off benefits. Yeah, and I think there's still maybe an average of 3 to 4 people that use it every night. Although some nights it's higher than that with people coming and going, but I call that an average, 3 to 4 a night. Did you say that's about right, Councillor Hassan?
Yeah, that's, people come in and like, at night after 2 a.m. and 2 a.m., 3 a.m. more, like so many people come in and they want to have coffee, get snacks and they leave. But as the mayor said, we probably have like 4, kind of like every night, that's the range of 4, 5, sometimes 6. And the support of the community is really, really good. Like the community response to this center is really amazing. Everyone, so many people, they stop. They are women from the community here. We have volunteers. Some of them they volunteer. Some of them they are willing to work, especially on the overnights. And we'll try to coordinate that with them on the weekends, especially when people are out and about, so we can have like at least two volunteer and staff there, and it's been amazing experience honestly for some of them, and it's really good.
Has there been any funding that comes through?
That was just what I was going to say, is that we did get a commitment from the Housing Corporation to fund to the level of the proposal, which was 179,000. Although they broke out the capital from the operations, and I'm not sure if we've already received that side of the contribution, the operations side, but okay. But at least we know what's coming, and we were to submit on the capital side just a separate application, but it sounded like it was approved. That would be for the upgrades to the facility inside, the reconfiguration of the walls, the installation of the washer, the dryer, the shower. A lot of the stuff is just going ahead, in part because the building owner is and contributions. I mean, these are a burden for the community to get it going. Just the volunteers and the contributions. Got to say to the soup kitchen as well, that's sending over a lot of meals to the people across. So whether they get a meal in the afternoon or not, there at night, and sometimes different people go there and drop in, as Councillor said there. So we'll certainly update. I think we're going to push their this week to get those contribution agreements signed off. And, yeah, hopefully by the next meeting, we'll be able to update you with the positive news there.
Just want to add something. We got contribution for fuel, fuel for the heating, and that by Owen Road. And that will definitely help us, so we can at least allocate the money for the fuel for different activity in the center, and it will really help.
Okay. Now, I do have a motion now. Well, here's a choice for you. We do have a little bit of in-camera to talk about an HR matter. Do you want to just go right to it, or do you want a 5-minute break? Right to it? Okay. So I've got a motion moved by Councillor Lafferty, seconded by Councillor McPherson. The council move in camera at, that's going to be 8:09 p.m. And we'll do the roll call. Okay. Yes, Deputy Mayor?
What is the subject about?
Okay, what's the subject about?
Something that I would suggest Deputy Mayor Anton will be in conflict.
Okay, I think it has to do with
Personnel matter?
personnel matter related to you.
Same
Okay,
issue.
well then I'm gonna declare conflict and sign off.
Okay, yeah, and so you'll be just leaving the meeting then?
Yes.
Okay, all right, we'll take note of that. Thank you, Deputy
Thank
Mayor.
you.
Okay.
Good night.
Okay. All right, so Councilor Belfontaine, to go in camera, yes. Councilor Hassan,
Yes.
Councilor Lafferty,
Yes.
Councilor McPherson,
Yes.
Councilor Morrow.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 5 in favor, none against. Motion's carried. All right. So